after this depot over here became the division offices, probably in the 80s, is when the railroad was two-storied. The depot was two-storied. Up until then, the headquarters building was right over there across the track in what was later called the Oakall Hotel. It wasn't built for a hotel, it was built for railroad division offices. But the big depot was enlarged, two-storied, and added on again in 92 and again in 1922. The one that we saw in our time, the one that was taken down in 1955, was a product of several additions and renovations over the years, until when all of these offices were moved to Jackson, Tennessee in 1945 in October. This was a very large building over here, and had for all of those years since the Civil War been the headquarters of the Mississippi Central. We come up now to 1881 and the changing of the gauge, and then the next great accomplishment was the building of the bridge across the Ohio River, which, as I indicated, was in 1889. And once you got a bridge across the Ohio River, things really began to flourish. Water Valley is already a big shop town. It gets even bigger. A lot of traffic, 30 trains a day. And by the middle 90s, I have train sheets showing 25 of not less than 20 trains a day all through the 90s. I have one sheet up there in 1893 in November, 39 trains on the Water Valley District. And so Water Valley is a boom town. It's the biggest town in North Mississippi. It's bigger than Tupelo, Greenwood, Clarksdale, anybody else. Just because of the railroad, principally because of the railroad. Back in 1896, on June the 30th, all the mainline passenger trains had been changed from Water Valley and Holly Springs on their route from New Orleans to Chicago, and now they're running through Memphis. Water Valley still has 3 passenger trains a day each way, but freight is the big business through here. I have train sheets all through the 90s. When at periods of heavy business, there are 30 trains a day on this Water Valley District, and of course, as they go north, they go to the Jackson District. So the golden age of steam railroading on the Mississippi Division could be loosely from the early 1890s to about 1920. That's a period of 30 years, but a lot of history and nostalgia is crowded into those years. Along in the early 1900s, we had a great increase in banana traffic from the Caribbean area through New Orleans to the northern cities, and those banana trains moved principally over 2 railroads, the M&O Railroad from Mobile to the northern states, and from New Orleans to the northern states. Well, the New Orleans traffic came through here, and we had as many as 5 and 6 banana trains in a day. Now that would be unusual, just like in 30, 40 years later we have strawberry trains, 5 and 6 in some days. But during there is really no banana season. The banana trains run year round, and they move with express train speed. That's what they were called, banana expresses. And they came right through here, pulled by little 800 class engines at first, and then we had larger engines in the 600 class. And they moved them probably at no faster than a 40-mile-an-hour average rate. But they got good treatment by the dispatchers and the crews, and they moved over the division with some haste. Occasionally, even they would put passenger trains in the hole or in a passing track to let these banana freight trains by. Gave them precedence over the passenger trains just occasionally. They did the same thing in strawberry train days, although it was rather unusual in that time, long in the 20s, 30s, and 40s, that you'd put a passenger train in the hole. Steam railroading is in its heyday. You have a lot of people working. Water Valley has a large shop force here of maybe 400 people. You've got a switching yard with another 100 people. You've got 200 men working on the trains in and out of Water Valley. And the division officers over here are 50 or more people with operators, dispatchers, clerks, supervisors in all the different departments of the railroad business. So the railroad is booming. Everybody's got a job just about who wants one. And as I have often said, we sat at home on Panola Street and watched Mr. Caulfield walk by our house every morning going to work. So we knew everything was fine. God was in heaven, Mr. Caulfield was at the depot, and everything was going to be taken care of.